We used to go to the Twin Barrels on Beverly Boulevard after the Gilmore race, after Gilmore Stadium. You know, Gilmore started in 1934 on a Thursday night, and I was there, sitting in a grandstand, of course, then. And they would go, I didn't have cars then, but later on we used to go down to the Twin Barrels on Beverly Boulevard. I guess it was between Fairfax and La Brea, and on the north side of the street, and like they go to Bob's Drive-In out there now, but now they just stand around and look at everything. We used to go out and go drag racing, and Tommy Lee that had that 318-inch Miller in the Roadster. Tommy Ince and I used to drag with him, and we used to beat him too, and down Venice Boulevard and all that stuff, and then we had now and then we'd have starter races. Whoever had the highest rear end gear, we'd put them in high gear and just leave the key off and put our foot on the starter and see who go the fastest down the alley, which was barely moving till the battery gave up. But we did a lot of that.
Can you remember the first time you ever went to the lakes, and just describe the scene and what you went up to the lakes with, what kind of car?
Yeah, first time we went up, it was Tommy Ince and myself went up, and my dad, and we just laid out we just measured out a mile on the speedometer and put some markers down there, and we'd run up and down and see how fast we could go, you know, and figure it out. Gear ratio, tire diameter, all that kind of stuff, you know, and we all had tachometer on the cars. And then later on, the first time I went up was 1938 with a Roadster. I borrowed a 32 Roadster full body, took the fenders off and the headlights and all the junk off, and took the engine out of my 34 go-to-work coupe, because that's all we had in those days. And it was a Mercury block with it was bored 10 thousandths over, because the guy, when he was going to make it a 16th over, and we had pistons for it, he screwed up the bore on couldn't read his mic or something in the parts house, so I had to get some 10 over, some 60 plus 10, and there was 70 over, which is an odd size for a ring, you know, and I was really mad about that, and I set a Roadster record that day on gasoline, 113.8 or 9 something. It was a 4-cylinder held at that. They were stock body Roadster, and it was a borrowed Roadster. I borrowed it from Jack Kiramoto, who had a mobile station, or rather it was a General Petroleum station in those days, on 2nd and San Pedro Street in Los Angeles. And he wanted me to loan me the car, so I did, because I didn't have one. Then I'd come back and take the engine out, put it back in my coupe so I'd go to work.